Hello, all my VIPs. These are late night talks with a list. So, we're going to be talking about mac and cheese, okay? Because I saw a video where someone was mentioning how they never made mac and cheese. It was a black dude named Keith, and I was like, I didn't see it in full yet, but I was like, you never made mac and cheese. What? Like, I was like, that type shit. So, anyways, I want to do this video, okay? So, first off, you start off with having all your ingredients. You do need absolutely. Not only your noodles, you need pots, you need water, you need butter, you need salt, oil. That's optional, but I feel like you do need oil for this as well too. You need your cheese, of course. You need a stove. Just it's obvious shit. If you don't have any of this shit, please don't trying to do it in a crock pot. That's a totally different recipe that I'm not used to. I'm not used to making it in a crock pot. It always overcooks when trying to do that. So yeah. Anyways, before you start, oh, also seasonings too. In your milk, of course, for the mac and cheese, and a bit of flour if you're trying to make the roux cheese sauce. So, anyways, you get your pot to a boil. You add your salt. You add a bit of oil. The oil is so that the noodles do not stick. Okay, so you stir around the salt and oil until the salt dissolves. And then once you get it to a boil, you turn down the heat from high heat to medium heat. You add your noodles. When your noodles hit the pot, you stir it, okay? Because even though there's oil in it to keep it from clumping together, you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pot or pan. So you stir it for a bit, about 2-3 times, and then once that's done with stirring, you let it sit there for 6 to 8 minutes. At the 6 minute mark, if you test it and it's still hard or if it's really chewy, like yeah, it's not ready. But then if you let it sit for too long and it's damn near dissolving in your mouth, it's overcooked. You have to get it to that good texture to where it's like chewy, but it's not too chewy. It's not hard and it's not about to dissolve in your mouth. That's al dente. Now, once that's done, you strain your noodles. You turn off the heat and strain your noodles. You can put a pad of butter in your noodles if you want, just like a little bit of butter in your noodles if you want, stir it around, what have you. That's all cool. It could be salted or unsalted butter. Salted butter is like, I prefer that whenever I'm doing like the cheese sauce. But, anyways, if you don't have heavy cream, I usually add butter, heavy cream, and I let it like get warm and then, or get hot, and then I add my cheese, mix that all together, and then I put it in my noodles, mix the noodles together and what have you, and then I bake it. But if you don't have heavy cream, you can do flour, butter, and milk, to where you put a pad of butter, like 1/8 of the stick, on the pan. You put a teaspoon or a tablespoon of flour. See, that's the thing. Some people overestimate how much flour they need and then they end up using too much. You do not want to make a dough off of this, okay? You don't need that much flour, okay? So you can just start off with a teaspoon of flour. You mix the flour and the butter together, and then you add your milk, and then you mix that together. The milk needs to be a thick consistency, okay? It can be like the consistency of heavy cream. Get it to that. If you notice that your milk is not as thick, you add a bit more flour, but do not add so much, okay? You will make a dough, okay? But yeah, add another teaspoon until you get that good consistency. Now, once you got the consistency, you add your cheese. Any type of cheese is preferred, but if I'm gonna be honest with you, I prefer stronger tasting cheeses. Like, I do like to add my sharp cheddar into there. I also like Havarti cheese, even though it may not be as strong of a flavor. Munster cheese is a flavor I know is not that strong, but I still add it because I like Munster cheese. But I like to grate my own cheeses. The cheeses that are already grated, I noticed that they don't have as strong of a flavor versus cheeses that are grated, at least for me. So I grate my own cheeses. Once I add it to there and the cheese is like dissolved into there to where like the color changes or what have you, and it's like a thick, you taste your cheese. If your cheese is not seasoned enough, you can add seasoning to it. I'm also clumped like that. That's why my face is looking like my second chin. No, I'm just kidding. But that's okay. Hello. But anyways, yes. You taste it. If it's not seasoned enough or if you feel like it needs something, you can add any type of seasoning you want. I usually just add either salt or meat tenderizer. Just randomly add meat tenderizer into it. So yes. Um then once it's good and up to your taste or flavor, you add it to the noodles. You mix the noodles together. For me, with baking it, okay? If you have your cheese sauce, you put some cheese aside. You don't use all the cheese into the sauce. You put some aside, and then you put the cheese sauce with the noodles. You mix them together, and then you get a ceramic dish or a glass dish or an aluminum pan. You put the cheese, macaroni and cheese in there. Then you smooth it to where it's like an even on both sides, the macaroni and cheese. And then on the top, you put that little bit of cheese. Now sprinkle it all over. If you don't have enough to where it's like, oh my gosh, it's fully coating the top, it's okay. As long as it's coating like, most of it, then it's good. You put it in the oven. You can broil it, even though I tried to broil it and I was like, I didn't burn my macaroni and cheese, but I was like, this thing smells off. I don't want it to smoke and damn near burn the house. So let me not do that. But you can put it on broil or you could just regularly bake it. Then I like my top brown, baby. I like the corners to be brown, baby. So that's what I do. I brown it, what have you, and it's so good. You take it out. You have to let it sit. Let it sit. For me, I let it sit like talking with. I don't just bust it out. Hey, that's how we be burning the roof of our mouths and stuff like that. When you try to, you know how black people like you get the food, they just like the bitch, you can't do that with all this with this mac and cheese. That shit will burn your entire inside of your mouth. So no, you have to let it wait. You have to let it sit for a bit. Blow it, try it for sure. You're right on. That's how I love to make my mac and cheese. I would love to show a video. I'm probably gonna do that in the future. Oh my god, I love mac and cheese. The one biggest regret I have is not getting a private room with a kitchenette or sticking with my large private room with my kitchenette. But that large private room was like $3,270, and I was like, no, I need to pay for classes. I can't be over here spending money willy nilly like talking with like no. I only have an oven now though. But next year I do want to have my private room, my kitchenette, and make my mac and cheese because I have been missing it, and I still have my pots. So yes, and my spoon. I miss mac and cheese. I love it so much. So yeah. Oh, well, also prompted this video. My mom got me some mac and cheese, smoked chicken, and barbecue beans. So I was hungry, and that mac and cheese was delicious. So I'm wondering where she gets it from. I'm gonna ask her. But yes, that's what prompted this. Thank y'all for watching, and may peace be with you for an eternity. Good night, y'all.